to talk about tonight is, well, we're going to define what is metabolism, what is this that we're talking about. Because I know all of you will say, well, I don't know, but mine's slow. So we're going to talk about exactly what is metabolism and what you can control and what you can't control about your metabolism, okay? So let's define metabolism. It is your RMR, which stands for your resting metabolic rate. Resting metabolic rate is how many calories, I'm going to simplify this a little bit, how many calories you burn if you were comatose in a hospital bed. Laying there, just breathing, not living your life, just laying there, trying to heal, okay? That's your resting metabolic rate. So we add that to your activities of daily living, which in this equation includes your physical activity. We add all that up, and that is your metabolism. If we want to get a little bit more complex, we can say, well, what makes up all of the RMR, your ADLs, is a complex network of hormones and enzymes that not only convert your food into a fuel, but also how efficiently you burn that fuel. So how efficiently you burn that food that you're eating. A lot of people think of metabolism as slow or fast, but I prefer to think about it as either functional or dysfunctional, okay? So we want to do all the things that we can do to get it working functional. So there are some things that are known to affect metabolism that we don't have control over. One of those is genetics. Okay, so we look at genetics, we find that if parents are obese, the child has a 70 to 80% chance of being obese. So whenever we look at these kind of things, then we go, okay, we got to look at some twin studies. Hello. So we look at the twin studies and we go, okay, if we take identical twins and they're separated at birth, what do we find out? Well, they have a 60 to 70% chance of being pretty much identical weight. Okay, so that says genetics plays a role, but that is not nails in the coffin. That is not your destiny. That's 60 to 70%. Yep, genetics plays a role, but there's still a big percentage there that you have control over. So if you're thinking about your family and thinking about your genetics, you go, yep, that's me. I don't want you to walk around here going, it's just my genetics, because there's still a lot. It's not 100%. It's not 100%. This is your chance to go, okay, there's still some of this I have control of, and it's your opportunity to really make smart choices and be the example for the rest of your family. And if you think back to, there's some serious changes going on in this country, and if you think back to when you were in elementary school, you think about your third grade class or second grade class. And I know when I think back to that, there was one husky boy and one husky girl. She's a little bit bigger. Now, if you look at your kids or your grandkids' classrooms, there's not just one. There's a lot. So it's not all of a sudden that all these genetics are bad. There's something else going on. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Okay. Hello. Hi. So again, just because you might not have the best genetics, it's not nails in the coffin, it's not a death sentence. You still have a role to play in that. All right, so another thing that affects metabolism that we don't have control over, monthly changes. Okay, this one doesn't apply to you unless you live with a woman and you have to deal with it. Okay. So having a period costs you calories every month. So every time you go through your cycle, yep, that costs you calories. It takes calories to go through that. And you feel it. You're tired, you're exhausted. It costs you calories. You also are losing iron when that happens. And guess what? When you lose that iron, there's less oxygen going to your muscles, which means you have less energy, which is lowering your metabolism. So guess what? When you're done having this change every month, well, that's less calories that you're burning. And there's a whole other slew of things that goes on, and we'll talk about that too. Okay? But this is one that we don't really have much control over. Another one we don't have control over is age. Age affects your metabolism. You can't stop it, but you can definitely fight against it. One of the number one ways, and you hear this all the time, is exercise. And with exercise, you can gain lean muscle. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism. And if you think of an extreme example, whether it's a female bodybuilder or a male bodybuilder, they eat a lot because because they are a lot of muscle, okay? So I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder, but that's just an extreme example of, think about how much they eat. And having that lean muscle increases your metabolism. So exercise is one of the ways to help fight the aging process by keeping that lean muscle tissue. Laughing and smiling, if you look at anything about fighting the aging process, everybody ages better if they're finding something to laugh and smile about on a daily basis. So these are something that if I come home and I'm exhausted, I've had it with my family, I've had it at work, whatever it is, and I think, oh, it's just a rough day. You know what I'm doing? Going on YouTube, I'm finding some funny animal videos or something that's going to make me laugh or smile. Okay, if I haven't had a laugh, and that's a conscious decision, something you have to think about every day. Did I laugh today? Was anything good? Was anything funny? I know I laughed today. I laughed today watching Friends. Old Friends video. Oh my gosh, I was laughing out loud. My dog's like, what? It was hilarious. So I got that in today. Make sure you get yours in tonight. Supplements help you fight the aging process, specifically vitamin D, B, and your omegas. Let's see, I have a couple things to say about those. I mean, you're seeing a lot of things about vitamin D in recent, probably the last 5 years or so. And that's something that I know that Dr. Solomon here will routinely test for. If you're getting a blood test, we'll routinely check your vitamin D, especially during the winter. I don't suggest going out and just taking vitamin D, but getting that checked when you get blood work done and seeing if you would benefit from that. And then just good multivitamins. A 2010 study published in the Journal of Obesity, they reported that people that were taking a good multivitamin had better weight loss outcomes of the study. So this doesn't mean like your Centrum or your one a day, something a little bit higher quality than that. And it's something that we have a couple different vitamins that we have here that you can obviously talk to your chiropractor about those. And then we also have biomeridian testing, which I'm not going to get into a lot, but it's something that if you're like, I'm not really sure which supplements I should be taking, I know that I want to take some, but I don't want to just go in blind, biomeridian testing is the way to go, so you can ask about that. And that's just a test that kind of tests how different systems in your body are working. So if some systems aren't working how they should be, then we can recommend certain supplements to get them functioning better. Okay, so we got to talk about hormones and menopause. We talked about how every month or having a period costs you calories, and then as you start to enter into perimenopause, estrogen increases. Estrogen increases, causes stress. Stress causes cortisol. Cortisol is bad. Cortisol makes you feel fat, makes you gain weight, causes inflammation. The increase in cortisol causes an inflammatory response that causes your muscle connective tissue to break down. Guess what? As that's going on, there's a decrease in strength, losing that lean muscle mass, and an increase in fat. So guess what? This is a pivotal time for you to be exercising. And a lot of times women get to this stage in their life and they're starting to feel a little weighty, they're starting to feel tired, like, all right, my kids are growing up, I've got a little bit more time for myself, I'm going to start to exercise. And that is great because this is the pivotal time to do it. Even if you've never done it before in your life, you're going to help yourself maintain what you have if you start getting more active. Now, what a lot of women will do, because they've never exercised or they're getting back into it, is they'll go into this and they'll start to do 20 to 30 minutes of just walking around the block, walking on the treadmill, maybe they do elliptical, just steady state, moderate intensity exercise. And this can actually, if it's done at the right intensity level, can actually make your symptoms worse, because this is going to increase your cortisol levels even higher. So now you're working out, you're like, well, I've been walking, five times a week. I feel like I'm just gaining weight, I don't feel any better, and after 2 weeks, you're like, forget it. I don't need it. So we have to make sure that when you're starting this cardio, we're talking about cardio exercise, you're doing it at the right intensity. And that right intensity should include intervals at 75% of your VO2 max and recovering to 65% of your VO2 max. Now, who the heck knows what their 75% of VO2 max is? I don't even know what mine is, and I'm a trainer. But I know how to find out. And the reason I don't know what mine is because I haven't assessed it recently, okay? I have a pretty good guess of what that is. So there is a way that we can figure that out, okay? Or we can say, all right, you know what? For your cardio exercise, I want you to start doing intervals, and I want you to go to this intensity, and then I want you to recover to this intensity. And when I do this assessment to figure out where this is supposed to be, once I find out what those heart rates are that you should be working out at, I'm going to give you a whole 12-week program that's all intervals. There will be a couple workouts in there that are steady state for other physiological reasons, but there's no guessing. You're basically going to follow that 12-week program. You get a heart rate monitor, you watch your heart rate on your heart rate monitor and follow along. So now we know that you're working at the right intensity to not make the situation worse by increasing that cortisol. Okay, we're doing more effective cardio training. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. I think this is the last thing that you can't control. All the other things we're going to talk about are things that you can do to help your metabolism. We kind of talked about this. We talked about choosing the right kind of exercise, and we talked about the importance of heart rate intensity. Resistance training. So I talked about that a little bit too, and I talked about age and the importance of keeping lean muscle mass. And so that would mean doing resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. And basically, in this kind of situation, I'm recommending a full body circuit training. So what that means is that you're going to do an exercise for your legs, exercise for your chest, your back. Boom, go back to your legs, go back to chest, go back to back. And you keep your body moving versus doing what some of you may think of as resistance training is, I'm going to push, 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 push. I'm going to do my set of 12, and then I'm going to rest for 2 minutes. I want to keep you moving, and I want to do a full body exercise, full body workout, okay? We talked about the cardio, and it's important to work at about AT, which is that 75% VO2 max that I was kind of talking about, working at the correct heart rate and doing intervals. So let's get up. Let's do a little movement. All right. Go ahead and stand up. And we're just going to do a little demo of a little circuit. So what you're going to do is pretend to sit back down on your chair. All right. We're going to do 10 of those. Sit your hips back like you're going to touch your chair. Push down through your heels. All right. Get that blood movement in your legs. Looking good. Looking good. How does it feel? Get the upper move. Yeah. Looking good. We're going to get one more like this. Okay. Now take those arms up. So legs are done. We're doing shoulders. Press them up. Press them up. Arms right up overhead, reaching up towards the ceiling. Looking good. Looking good. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then in your mind you can think about doing about a set of push-ups. Okay. We're not going to do push-ups on the back of the chair because we don't have enough room, so we have somebody over here. But focusing on that chest. So what did we do? We did legs. We did shoulders. We did chest. Boom, we're not done. We're back to legs. All right, so this is your circuit. This is your circuit. You keep that body moving. Those legs are recovered from when we did our first set because we did shoulders and chest in between. Okay, so now we're back. Let's go back to shoulders. Press them up. Those are recovered because we just got done doing legs and shoulders, or legs and chest. 3 more. 3, 2, 1, and let's do those push-ups. Now, even though we're just pushing against the air, see if you can feel your chest working. Those of you that have some good body awareness, you should be able to feel that chest contract, even though you're pushing against stuff. Focus on that chest. Let's get 3, 2, 1. Oh, you grab some water. So that gives you a little bit of an idea, kind of like what that full body circuit training is. Going from one thing to another to another. Now, if you're going through that, you're like, okay, she says to do something for her chest, something to do for back and shoulders. I don't really know what those are. Well, that's when you go, okay, you know what, I need help. I need somebody to teach me this stuff. And that's when you come in and meet with myself or Michelle, the other personal trainer, and we can help you with that. So another thing you can do for your metabolism is just move. Move more. Anytime you are sitting more than 20 minutes, your metabolism starts to go down. So how many of you sit at a computer for more than 20 minutes a day? I do too. You even though I'm a personal trainer. So, and guess what? As much as I try to get up at least every 20 to 30 minutes and do something instead of push-ups, instead of dips, instead of crunches, something. I'm fortunate that I can just get up from my desk and I'm right there in the gym and I can go do it. But as much as you can, get up and move. There are a couple tools now that kind of help you track your movement. One of them is the Nike Fuel Band, and the other is called the Fitbit. I love my Fitbit. You got the Fitbit? I got the Fitbit. So she's got the bracelet, and I've got one that I clip on my bra. And what it does is it tracks how many steps that you do a day. The goal being 10,000. So I got my 10,000. But it also will track how many flights of stairs. Now, I live, my house, my bedroom is on the main floor. So guess what? I don't get those 10 flights of stairs at my house. I get them when I'm here at Chesterfield because my gym is in the basement. But on days when I'm at Garfield, like I was at Garfield today, I'm only at one flight of stairs. And that was the flight of stairs that I had to take up after I did my run in the basement on the treadmill. Because it was too hot to run outside. So that was the only flight of stairs I got. So I missed my goal a lot on my stairs. The other thing that this will measure is just how active you are. So I don't know if you can see that little flower there, but the bigger your flower, the more active you've been. So if I have to sit at my desk for an hour or two and I'm pretty still, my flower really shrinks, which tells me, ooh, I'm getting a little too stagnant, I gotta move a little bit. So, and I've had this Fitbit, I don't know, since February, and I still love it. I still love it. How long have you had yours?
I just got mine on Friday.
Oh, it's all new.
Yeah.
Fun. So, and it connects with your phone. If you've got a smartphone, it's got an app on there, and you can be friends with people and kind of have a little healthy competition. For those of you that know Colleen, she was up here a little bit ago, and I said, Colleen, I didn't see you on my list of friends on the Fitbit. She kind of fell off. She's like, yeah, I think it's about Amber. Yeah, so I just kind of gave her I gave her a little encouragement, like, you gotta go get it, because you're falling off the top 10 list there, you know.
How much are
This Fitbit, the one that I'm showing you, is $100. Hers on her bracelet is $100. Hers and mine will also track sleep. So when I go to bed, I push a button on it and it starts a timer. And I think what it does is it becomes a little bit more sensitive to movement. And so whenever I roll over and in the night, it will record that and record it as restless. If it's a lot of activity, it will record it as awake. And so I'll open up my app in the morning and it will say, okay, you were in bed for 9 hours. You actually slept for 8 hours and 7 minutes. And it will show me how many times I woke up, how many times I was restless, how many times I was actually awake. It'll also tell me it took me, on average, it takes me 7 minutes to fall asleep.
What does that just work off your pulse?
So it uses the same technology that is in the Wii remote, you know, the video game. So it's similar technology to that, like an accelerometer or something, a 3D accelerometer. It's a similar technology.
You plug that in the morning to your...
So I don't even have to plug it in. There's a little thing on my computer that if I'm within 3 feet of my computer, it syncs it. I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't sync. As long as I'm close to it, it does it. So now there's a Fitbit that's only $50 that doesn't do sleep. So if you're not interested in tracking the sleep,
Just a tidbit too, I have an entertainment book coupon. I got mine at Dick's and they let me use a $20 coupon, so I got $20.
Wow, that's awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because this is the first Fitbit I've had, but Carl's been through 2 or 3 of them. So, and I think it's because for women, this one's great because you put it on your bra. But for guys, I think the bracelet's a little bit better. Because what you do is you put it on your pants and you
That's why I didn't get that one, because that would be me. I would clip it somewhere and forget it and throw it in the water.
Yeah. So, love the Fitbit. It's great motivation to get you moving more, kind of tracking your steps.
Could you also get like just a basic pedometer and then track your steps like that?
Yep, absolutely. So since I've gotten this, you know, I'm one that, personally I live really close to Garfield, so oftentimes I'll go home at lunch and I'll walk the dog. But, you know, there's sometimes I'm like, the dishwasher needs to be emptied or laundry needs to be folded, but And then Cammy would get gypped on a walk. And since I got this, the laundry just stays there. We go for a walk. So I'm like, I gotta get my steps. So, all right, so now let's talk about drinking. First, we're gonna talk about drinking water. Okay. This is another thing that you can do to help improve your metabolism. Because when you are dehydrated, that slows down the fat burning process as everybody grabs their water. So if you are not hydrated, your body is not able to burn fat the way it wants to. When you are burning fat, there are toxins left over and you need that water to flush that out. If you are dehydrated, that means you have less blood volume. Less blood volume means there is less oxygen going to the muscle, to your brain, and you're going to feel tired, and it's going to be harder to get motivated to get active. Being hydrated also helps your muscle tone. It helps your muscles contract and relax, lubricates your joints. Here's one of those myths about cold water. Sounds like drinking ice cold water, you might burn a couple extra calories. All right, this is not a huge thing, so if you don't like super cold water, I would say it's not worth it. I don't like super cold water. I can't stand how my water bottle sweats. But they have water bottles now that don't sweat, so you can get one of those. But it might burn a couple extra calories.
When you're flushing your toxins out, are you also flushing electrolytes that you really want in your system?
You can be, but for most, unless you're doing excessive long running, excessive long working out, you're probably okay.
And secondly, if you have high blood pressure, when you're drinking water, you're increasing your blood volume, that's causing your high blood pressure to go even higher.
Hopefully, if we get you moving, we get you changing your food, you don't need to be on that blood pressure medication. Oh.
Tell me what
Good catch, good catch. Okay. And that's something where, you know, start that positive cycle, starting to reverse some of that damage. High blood pressure could be one of them. So if you start getting more hydrated, start moving better, eating better, you might see that blood pressure start to go down.
But the fact that you have more volume
Can make your blood pressure go up. So now let's talk about the other thing that we like to drink. Alcohol. So alcohol will increase your appetite. I think we've all experienced this. You may have seen it. You know, you have a drink before dinner and all of a sudden those appetizers look a little bit better. You're going for those appetizers. You're thinking you're going to order this entree and cut it in half, but by the time your entree comes, you've already had 1.5 beers or 1.5 teas, whatever your drink is, and all of a sudden you ate the whole entree and you don't got nothing for leftovers tomorrow. So it also can decrease your testosterone, even in women, and that in turn can decrease your body's ability to burn fat. So even just one drink can do this. So I tell this story years ago where our neighbor was getting rid of one of his kegulators, one of those refrigerators that holds a keg. He was working on losing weight, he wasn't drinking as much, and so Carl said, "Oh, I'll take it." So he gave him $50. Next thing you know, we got this kegulator in our fridge. Awesome. It's summer, it's beginning of summer. So we got this little keg in there. Okay. So that summer, you know, I come home, I drink water, take a shower, and have a little beer. Not a whole thing, just a little bit with my dinner. It's like right there, you didn't have to open a whole can. Didn't think much of it. And then I was getting ready to do this seminar, and I was reminded about how alcohol stops your body from burning fat. And all of a sudden I'm like, I probably need to stop that, having that beer. I didn't notice any change. But I'll tell you what, by the end of the summer when I stopped having that little beer almost every night, I was down 2 pounds. Not that I ever noticed I gained the 2 pounds, but I definitely noticed when it wasn't there anymore. And I was like, oh, that beer. And it wasn't that I was eating any different or I was working out any different. I'm pretty consistent with all that. So there might be a couple other factors in it, but to me, I was like, yeah, it's really not worth it, even if it was just a little bit off the cake there. Now, breakfast. We've all heard this one. Eating breakfast helps your metabolism. Eating breakfast can increase your metabolism by almost 5%. For me, that's almost 700 calories over the course of the week. Is that right? Yeah, it's 100 calories for me a day, 700 calories for the week. So it's definitely worth it to eat that breakfast. Now what it does, it gets your metabolism going, okay? It's that fire going by adding a little twigs and stuff to that fire. And when you don't eat, when you miss breakfast, obviously you're setting yourself up to overeat at lunch. Or a lot of people that I work with, they go, well, I don't have breakfast, and then I have like coffee, and then I don't usually eat till, I'll have some nuts, and then I don't eat till dinner. So then you're really setting yourself up to overeat at dinner. So we know from research that people who skip a morning meal are almost 5 times likely to be overweight. So if you think of some of the healthier people in your life, and think about, they eat breakfast? Chances are a lot of them do.
Is there an ideal, like you should eat breakfast within so much time?
This is a good question.
Yeah.
So years ago, I always heard you should eat within 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes of waking up. I haven't seen anything recently backing that up or reinforcing that. Some of the things that I'm seeing recently about timing of your meals are taking the emphasis off that a little bit. So I can't really give you a definitive answer. So years ago, that's what I used to see. Personally, for myself, let's say it's a weekend and I can sleep in a little bit. I can't because I wake up starving. I'm like, I gotta get up hungry. You know, sometimes Carlos kind of lay there and cuddle and whatever. I'm like, I gotta get up. I am hungry. You know, or he'll say, I'm gonna make breakfast tonight. Oh, that's nice. Like an hour later, I'm like, I can't wait. I'm like, that's a nice thought, but get off the computer and if you're gonna make it, make it. Because I'm about to scramble myself. So, when you have breakfast, you're actually telling your body to conserve energy. Let's see, the study. So, gotta have your breakfast. And hopefully you're having a breakfast that is a carbohydrate and a protein balance. You know, having half a bagel, and I eat bagels, and I try to eat them every day, but you try to balance that out also with the protein. Okay, so it's not just a high carb breakfast.
Speaking of eating, I read something that said after I did heavy workout, resistance, cardio, to eat a meal. To eat your meal like within an hour of that, maximize everything.
Yep, that's still totally true. Yep. They say, I've read things 45 minutes to an hour, that your body's like a sponge. And your body's looking for something to repair the damage. Whether it was resistance workout or even a cardio workout, you've done some damage to your body. That's the idea. You want to damage your body so you come out stronger on the other side of that workout. And so in that time, your body's looking to start to repair that damage. But it's like, okay, what can I use? So what you give your body in that 45-minute hour window is really important. It should be carbs and protein. Okay? Not just straight protein, but some carbs. Think of the carbs as, they're kind of like the taxi that helps the protein get to where it needs to go. So you gotta have some taxis, some carbs to get that protein to the muscle. Okay? So eat. Guess what? We talked about eating breakfast. Well, you just gotta eat enough, period, to keep that metabolism up. Okay? You have to eat enough calories. And we're gonna talk about what those calories are. Okay? They have to be quality calories, ample fat. You don't need to be afraid of fat. Let's pay attention to where it's coming from and how much, but let's not go non-fat, no fat. Fat tastes good. Fat fills you up. Okay? And we want to get a ton of non-starchy vegetables. So the quality of these calories that you have to be taking in, I stole this little saying from a nutritionist I worked with probably 10 years ago. Packaged and canned must be banned. So, that's pretty much it. If it comes in a package or comes in a can, you want to really limit how much of that you're taking in. You may have heard people say when you go to the grocery store, try to shop the perimeter, don't go down the aisles, because what's along the perimeter? Stuff that doesn't come in a package or a can. Stuff in the aisles are all packaged or canned. So as much as you can, shop the perimeter, avoid those packaged and canned things. Now, if you ever run into me at the store, you will see there are some things in here. I try to go by the 80-20 rule. 80% of the stuff I'm putting in my body is good stuff. It's helping me be healthy, helping me reach my goals. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have a Reese's peanut butter cup. There's nothing in there I would hang out with, but let's see. There's definitely some things that I eat that come out of a package, but I limit that. You know, if you look at your day, 80% of it should be good stuff and should come from the perimeter of that grocery store. And as much as you can, try to get your proteins from happy cows, happy chickens, happy fish that were living the life they were meant to live, not created to just feed us and stuff with hormones and who knows what they're feeding them, but try to get proteins that you know where they came from. Sometimes these cost a little bit more. I say, if you're looking to choose a little bit healthier, I would say spend a little bit more money on your proteins. These happy cows, chickens, and fish are going to be higher in omegas, which is going to help your inflammatory response. They're going to be higher, the product itself is going to be leaner, okay? I think that's it. And oh, they taste better. That's the other thing. Taste better. Some of the stuff that's in these packaged stuff, let's see, they're called organochlorines. Ooh, that sounds bad. Yeah, that's bad. They can interfere with your body's energy burning process, making it harder to lose weight. So there was a Canadian study where a lot of these organochlorines are not allowed, that shows that dieters who ate the most toxins, these organochlorines, had a greater than normal dip in metabolism. So that what they're saying is some of the chemicals and some of this packaged stuff, now this includes your lean cuisine and your Weight Watcher frozen meals. Those are all packaged foods. There's stuff in there that can actually dip your metabolism. So you think you're doing a good thing, but because of all the other stuff that's in there, your body doesn't recognize it and it hurts your metabolism. So opt for things that are coming from the earth, happy, living a healthy life before they're destined to take you. So let's talk a little bit about insulin, because those packaged food products typically are also high in carbohydrate, even things that you don't necessarily think are high in carbohydrate. But all of these things are going to increase your blood sugar levels, okay? So what happens when your blood sugar is high, even if it's just resting blood sugar, specifically when it's resting blood sugar, that means that you are not burning fat. Why would your body burn fat? It takes a little bit more energy, more work to burn fat when it's got this sugar like right there in your blood sugar waiting around ready to be burned, so to speak. So your body's like, I'm not going to burn fat, I got the sugar right here ready to go. And then guess what? When it decides that, okay, I got this high blood sugar, I need to figure out what to do with that, well, some of that is actually going to lock that fat into the cell. So now you've got fat in your fat cell that's locked in. It can't get out. So you're not burning fat, you're actually locking it in because you have a high resting blood sugar. So, and this can happen when you're eating a lot of processed food products. So if your fasting blood sugar is over 100, it's a sign that you could have some blood sugar problems. Optimal is 84 or less, okay? So this is something that you should probably be getting done every year when you have your annual physical and stuff, but if you have your blood work from a year ago or you're going to be getting it done, just make sure you do a fasted blood sugar test. And that might not be something, if you have a normal test and everything comes back normal, you don't have to do a full fasting 3-hour glucose test, but it's something to definitely look at if you haven't had that done, and kind of find out where you are with that. Now, another big one that helps metabolism is getting enough sleep. So who got 8 hours of sleep last night? Four of you. Oh no! I think I was close. I don't think I was less than 7. That wasn't good. So this is something that we keep hearing about. I'm like, all right, show me the study. So I found a study. Okay, and one of the things in this University of Pennsylvania study, they had a group of people, that wasn't a large group, definitely worth looking at. And they were only allowed to sleep 4 hours. So hopefully we got more than 4 hours. Okay, good. Okay. So only 4 hours over 5 days. So that's pretty sleep deprived. But still, in those 5 days, the average was a gain of almost 3 pounds. So if you're chronically going 5 hours, 6 hours, not getting the 8, and you've chronically been doing that, it's going to add up to hurting glucose metabolism, blocking the fat in the cell, all of these things that can slow the metabolism down and cause your body to just not burn calories as it should. So sleep is huge. What I've noticed with a lot of my clients is when I get them eating or get them sleeping 8 hours, they're like, holy people. They're like, I had no idea. I had no idea how almost unhappy I was. And it wasn't just because I was sleep deprived, you know? So for me, I'm very fortunate that I typically get 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So if I get one day where I'm at 6 hours, oh my gosh, I can't hardly function. I'm like, so a lot of times I'm like, you know, people sometimes go to Tigers game, go to a concert. I'm like, I can't. I gotta get my 8 hours of sleep. I can't go to bed at 11, 12 o'clock because I want to go to a concert. Forget it. It's not worth it to me. But I am used to functioning on that. I cannot function on less than that. I've been like that my whole life, even in college. I always had to get enough sleep. So